This is a Wild Game Production podcast.
Hey folks, it's Vince the Evil DM, the podfather of old school gaming, back with another episode of Roll for Initiative podcast, RFI Mini number 12, 13, 12, somewhere around there. Anyway, thank you for all the feedback and the questions so far. Again, I always like to thank everybody for taking their time, because you don't have to do that. And when you take your time, I feel that you take your time, and I want to acknowledge that. Ask the DM at theevildm.com. Head over to anchor.fm/theevildm if you want to click on that little button and leave me a voicemail. Again, you can record it on your computer and just send it in via Dropbox link or something, and I will play it on the air so we can talk about it. Again, you can support me by going to theevildm.com/support, and you can pick a way to donate if you'd like to help support continuing my projects along. All right, so now that we got all that out of the way, another episode of Roll for Initiative here. Let's flip to page 34 of the Player's Handbook. Let's talk a little bit about character hit points. Obviously, we know character hit points, and they're pretty simple. You have a hit die for your class. You roll that each level. Add your Constitution modifier, and if you're obviously a fighter and you have that high Constitution, you get that extra bonus. If not, you just add the regular bonus, depending on your Constitution, or negative, depending if your Constitution is low. But there was one paragraph that I have seen when I was looking this over that I really didn't remember, and I thought it was interesting. That your character's class will determine which sort of die roll you roll to determine your hit points. In some campaigns, the referee will keep this total secret, informing players that they feel strong, fatigued, or very weak, thus indicating warning hit points. In other campaigns, the Dungeon Master will have players record their character's hit points and keep track of all changes. Both methods are acceptable, and it is up to your DM as to which method in the campaign you participate in. So Gary is giving you a second method of hit points, allowing the Dungeon Master to write down all the totals and take down all the totals and not tell the players, other than telling them, you feel great, you feel a little fatigued, man, you're feeling really weak, or you're about to die, and you're dead. How do you feel as a player if a DM did that? Obviously, it's his game, his world, his rules. He can play whatever he wants. Gary gives this other suggestion, which I find fascinating that this is another suggestion to do. Now, was this because AD&D was meant to be a tournament game, and players really didn't need to know everything? Because remember, originally, the DM would roll for everything, including the players. The players would just determine their actions. So as 1E was a tournament game, maybe this is one of the things that came over from the tournament side of doing the strong, fatigued, very weak, and obviously dead. So thinking about it in a campaign, I kind of like the idea of doing this because it keeps players from metagaming too much, power gaming. It doesn't really let them know exactly where they stand other than you feel weak. It's kind of like those video games that they did early on when you really didn't know some hit points. You just kind of got you feel fatigued. Like the old mud games and things like that used to play online. I really just like this little paragraph that I found here, and I wanted to share it with everybody today to get their thoughts on this. It may help generate some phone calls. Yeah, like someone's going to be dialing a phone to me. A voicemail from anchor.fm/theevildm. I mean, you can send in an email your thoughts on this. I just thought it was an interesting method other than just the normal standard roll your hit points, keep track. And the fact that a DM can also keep track of the hit points himself and not tell you what they are at all. And I think I recall someone actually doing that in one of my campaigns way back when I was in high school. Now that I'm thinking about this, we may have done something similar to that. It's just something an idea that was brewing in my head. I remember sitting there going, what's my character's hit points? I don't remember who the DM was, and it wasn't that memorable of a campaign, apparently, because I don't remember any more about it. But I'd like to hear your experiences on this. And I think it's really interesting that you can do this and still have a really good really good campaign with a lot of mystery behind it. So, all right. Go ahead and flip to page 34. Read that paragraph at the bottom, right above establishing the character, and you can tell me what you think about it. I appreciate it if you write in. Hit me up on Facebook /The Evil Dungeon Master, on Twitter @The Evil DM, or you can head over to the WGP Old School Gaming group on Facebook, which is our WGP Facebook page, and you can join that group and discuss old school gaming with everybody in there. Lots of people in there, and have fun with that. So with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Keep it original, keep it old school, and good night, everybody.